25 million Swedish kroner.
Yeah, that's a massive number.
It really is.
Yeah.
That is the estimated jackpot sitting on the table this Saturday for the V85. And welcome to today's deep dive into the race data. Because if you're going to chase a pot of gold that big, we really need to unpack everything.
We do.
Let's dive right into it. V85-1. We're kicking off with a sprint for mares, 1,640 meters. Now, normally, sprint implies speed, and speed implies you want the lead. But looking at the consensus in the data, the heavy favorite here is starting from the back row, track 11, Ciliez.
Ciliez is the absolute prototype for what we just discussed. She's a tank. She's trained by Alessandro Gocciadoro, and she just made a comeback where she ran outside the leader.
It's a dreaded death seat.
Exactly, the death seat. And she didn't just win from there. She completely crushed the field.
So the argument across the sources here is that despite the terrible starting position, because being stuck in the back in a short race is usually a disaster, the long Axevalla stretch actually plays right into her hands.
Precisely. Because on a fast track like Axevalla, track 11 in a sprint is a death sentence. You simply cannot catch the leaders before the wire. But at Axevalla on heady dirt, the leaders tire out.
They hit that wall.
Yeah. Ciliez doesn't need to be fast off the gate. She just needs to be the strongest horse in the final 200 meters. And the consensus across the board is that she is simply a class above the rest in terms of pure power.
However, she isn't running alone. I mean, if she gets stuck in traffic, which definitely happens from the back row, who benefits? The data really highlights Urbina Southwind, number 10.
Urbina is your speed alternative here. She's won 2 straight V85s, so her form is impeccable right now. The scenario for her winning really involves the drivers up front making a huge mistake.
Going too fast.
Yeah, if the tempo gets suicidal, which happens when drivers misjudge that long stretch and burn fuel too early, she is the one with the turn of foot to just swoop past everyone.
There's also a note here about Don't Say Gar, number 12. A high-class mare, likely retiring soon to breed. But starting from track 12 in a sprint seems impossible. What makes her pop in the analysis?
One name. Erjan Kihlström.
Ah.
Yeah, he's jumping in the sulky for this race. Kihlström is widely considered the absolute master of navigating traffic and timing a run perfectly. If anyone can thread a needle from track 12 and utilize that extra long stretch to inch ahead at the very last second, it's him. It's a massive plus noted in all the reports.
We should also mention a couple of the horses up front. Ellen Ripley, number 5, is flagged as the likely early leader.
She is, but holding on is going to be the real test for her.
And Nova Mahiron, number 8. The sources call her the forgotten horse. High capacity, but just a terrible starting lane on the far outside.
Yeah, track 8 is brutal. She'll need a lot of luck to find a position, but if she does, she has the raw ability to surprise. So really, V85-1 is this massive clash between the tactical nightmare of the back row and the raw power of the favorites.
All right, let's move to V85-2. This is the low-class puzzle, 2,140 meters. And usually when we say low-class on this deep dive, we mean high volatility.
Absolute chaos. You're dealing with inexperienced horses who are just as likely to gallop as they are to trot. They literally haven't figured out their own legs yet.
Which brings us to the favorite, Seafer Lane, number 3. On paper, he looks incredible. 3 straight wins.
But reading the fine print.
He's undefeated when he trots.
That should scare you. He has broken stride and galloped in 5 of his 9 career starts.
Wow.
That is worse than a coin toss. That is a massive statistical red flag. You just cannot bank your mortgage on a horse with a 50% failure rate, no matter how fast he is.
So if Seafer Lane decides to gallop today, who is there to pick up the pieces?
Gibson Broad, number 2, is the logical stabilizer here. He made a mini comeback recently and looked like he had a ton of energy left in the tank. Bjorn Goop is driving, and he'll likely aim straight for the lead just to stay out of trouble. He's the safe pair of hands compared to Seafer Lane.
However, I want to talk about the chaos horse in the notes.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Carnation, number 12. Tremendous engine, but he has galloped in 9 out of 11 starts. That is an abysmal record. Why is he even in the conversation for the experts?
Because of a very specific equipment change that the eagle-eyed researchers found. The reports indicate they are adding knee boots for this race.
Knee boots? How does that actually solve the problem?
Well, the theory goes that his gait is a bit messy, right? And he's been striking his own knees when he runs. That causes sudden pain, and a horse's natural reaction to pain is to break stride, to gallop.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if the boots protect the knees, the pain goes away. And if the pain goes away, the engine can finally work properly.
So if the boots work...
You've got a Ferrari engine in a race full of Volvos.
Exactly. If he trots the whole way, he is likely way faster than everyone else in this field. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward play. It could really blow the value of the jackpot wide open.
Definitely. Keep an eye on Nido number 6 as well. Strong, improving, one from outside the leader recently.
And Pacino Alboco number 9 is buzzing in the analysis despite seeking his first win. Good form right now.
And Twigs Like You, number 5, is very fast off the gate. Yeah. Could cause an upset if he gets the lead and Cifrelane makes a mistake.
Okay, let's study the ship with V85-3, the gold division, because this looks like the polar opposite of the race we just talked about.
This is the banker division, the one race today where we can actually take a breath. The consensus favorite is Stenz Rubin number 4.
They're calling him the winter horse.
And for very good reason. He thrives in these exact conditions. He doesn't mind the cold, he doesn't mind the grit, and he is incredibly fast from the start. The projected scenario across all our sources is super simple. Stenz Rubin takes the lead immediately, controls the pace, and nobody has the gas to challenge him down that long stretch.
Is there any scenario where he loses? We usually try to find the hole in the armor for you.
Here, the hole is microscopic. It would take bad luck. Sickness, freak equipment failure, or getting boxed in purely by accident. Kinky Boots, number 2, is a veteran closer, but he needs help. He needs the favorite to have a really bad day.
Iolo Jet, number 6, is fast too, right?
Fast, yeah, but he likely needs to find a position right behind Stenz Rubin to even have a prayer. Look, in a round with a 45 million jackpot, you need to save your money for the hard races. V85-3 is the race where the smart strategy is just to single mark the favorite and move on.
Fair enough. Let's spend that save budget on V85-4, because this is a marathon, 2,640 meters, and it's a sports repa. And with 15 horses in the field, traffic has to be the primary enemy.
It's an absolute traffic jam. You have slow horses physically in the way of fast horses. The favorite is Keep Gamble, number 14. He's a Timo Nurmos powerhouse. He loves the long distance, and he proved his toughness last time by winning the hard way. But starting from 14 means he literally has to pass 13 other horses to win.
But I found a really interesting nugget in the research that points to a potential upset here. Number 15, Bertas Ankare. This feels like a highly specific angle.
It is a very sharp angle. Bertas Ankare is a local Axevalla horse. He lives there. He trains on this heavy dirt every single day. The analysis calls him a mudlark. He actually gets better when the conditions get worse.
And he's getting a massive driver upgrade today.
Huge. Carl-Jan Jepsen is sitting in the sulky for the first time. And Jepsen knows Axevalla better than almost anyone. He knows exactly when to make his move on that massive stretch. So you have a local horse, perfect muddy conditions, and a top-tier driver. Keep Gamble is the better horse in a vacuum, but Bertas Ankare might just be the right horse for this specific Saturday.
What about the rest of the field? Money Matters, number 13, won his comeback easily.
Strong and distinct horse, definitely a threat. Spirit of Love, number 3, is speedier, but stepping up in class.
Are there any pure long shots lurking in this traffic jam?
Flotilla, number 12. He is your perpetual runner-up. He often looks flashy, but rarely wins, though he's always dangerous for a place. And Apollo Prophet Cal, number 9. Because if the favorites get stuck 3 wide on the turns, battling all that traffic, Apollo could find a gap on the inside and just sneak through for a stealthy trip.
Awesome. Moving on to V85-5. Class 2, 2,640 meters, another race with the local home track favorite. Jula Red Mile champ, number 2.
This is a fascinating case study in equine psychology, because the notes mention a significant recent change. He was gelded.
A lifestyle change, as we like to call it, and the data suggests it worked perfectly.
Immediately. Before the operation, he was a bit unfocused, maybe a little too interested in things other than racing. But since the operation, he's calmer. He's totally focused on the job. He won easily from the lead in his comeback, and the plan here is likely rinse and repeat. Take the lead, stay there.
But this is class 2. This is the lowest class. Even focused horses make rookie mistakes here.
Exactly. You can never fully trust a class 2 favorite. If Jula Red Mile champ has an off day, look at Diego Face, number 10. Very capable, but he had a nightmare trip last time.
Reversed to last place, right?
Yeah, stuck behind a wall of horses. But he flew at the finish. He had so much energy left. If the tempo was high today, he absolutely enters the match. Also, don't ignore Bliger SRP, number 6. He's much stronger than his record suggests.
There's also a whisper in the reports about a gear change on a long shot. The Great One, number 4.
Yes, sources suggest a switch to an American bike. This is a specialized sulky that sits differently. It lifts the horse slightly, to allow a more efficient flowing stride. On a long shot and a low-class race, that kind of mechanical advantage can literally be the difference between losing and pulling off a massive upset. A guard here might be very wise.
All right, V85-6, a sprint for mares. 1,640 meters. The notes here basically just scream wide open.
This is the headache race of the day. You have speedsters, you have grinders, and you have that unforgiving Axevalla homestretch complicating all the tactics. It is notoriously difficult to predict who takes the lead and who can actually hold it.
Let's look at the speed angle first. Stepping Go-Go Girl, number 4.
She is rapid. Her instinct and her driver's instinct will be just gun for the lead. On a normal sprint track, she'd likely lead start to finish. But here, if she burns too much fuel getting to the front, that final 100 meters is going to feel like running in quicksand. She is highly vulnerable to getting tired.
So who hunts her down when she tires?
Malarkey, number 3. She's a tough mare. She won the hard way last time, running 3 wide without cover. She doesn't mind a dogfight. If the leader gets heavy legs, Malarkey's the one who will just keep grinding.
Well, what about my precious one, number 10?
Incredibly consistent. If she stays trotting, she finishes in the top 2 almost every single time. And Evangelista Face, number 1, has a great starting position and seems to be getting better with every start.
I'm seeing a name deep in the long shots. A10's Lady Gaga, number 6.
She's easily forgotten here because she's stepping up in class against much tougher horses. But she looked really good in her comeback. In a race this open, if the favorites literally kill each other off in a speed duel, which is very possible, a horse like her could pick up the pieces at massive odds.
Now we hit V85-7, another Sport Trappa, 2,140 meters. We have a pretty clear favorite in Xanthus Kimberly, number 3. But the headline here isn't just the horse, it's the hands holding the reins.
Magnus A. Juice. When you put the current champion driver on a capable horse like Xanthus Kimberly, the market reacts instantly. She has great form, and Juice will almost certainly be aggressive, aiming for the lead to control the race from the front. He knows exactly how to dictate tempo.
But she has real company. Boudesse Hildur, number 7, is dropping down in class, right?
Yeah, she's been facing Golden Division horses, the absolute elite. Dropping down to this level makes her the heavy hitter of the group. She is used to a much harder fight than this.
We should mention Global Gaiety, number 12, won a final recently, but this format gives her a terrible starting position. She usually wins from the lead, which feels unlikely from track 12.
Very unlikely. She'll need a miracle trip.
So what about the dark horses, if we're looking for a jackpot maker in the 7th race?
Keep an eye on Green Peaks, number 6. This is another Urgent Kihlstrom drive. She needs a Smigressa, a stealth trip. And Kihlstrom is famous for waiting until the last possible fraction of a second to attack, completely surprising leaders who thought they were safe.
And Noblesse Broda, number 1.
Perfect starting position on the rail. The analysis notes she finished incredibly fast last time out. And it's always a big if. A gap opens up on the inside during that long stretch. She has the kick to surprise everyone.
All right, we've made it to the finale, V85-8. 2,140 meters. We end with a favorite who is immensely talented, but let's say emotionally complex. Indie Boy, number 2.
Emotionally complex is a very polite way to put it. Indie Boy has the engine to win this race easily. He won his comeback from the death seat, which shows just immense physical strength. But mentally, he is insecure. He's historically prone to stressing out and galloping if things don't go exactly his way.
But the sources say he looked much more stable last time.
He did.
But if Indie Boy does stress out and gallop, who is the primary threat?
Deadly Map, number 6. He returned after a 9-month absence and looked fantastic. Usually, a horse needs a race in the body to sharpen their reflexes after a break that long. Now that he has that race, he's the logical challenger.
9 Points King, number 4, is making a comeback too.
True, but the Westholm stable usually has them ready to perform right off the bench, so don't discount him.
Give us one final fun bet to end the day. A long shot for the thrill seekers listening.
Nordic Inn, number 10.
Huh.
He galloped last time out, but the analysis suggests it was strictly due to freshness. Just too much pent-up energy. He wanted to run faster than his legs could go.
Right.
Before that, he actually finished second in a V85 final. So if he stays calm today, he has the capacity to completely blow up the payout board.
So looking at the big picture for this Saturday, it seems like the entire winning strategy really hinges on respect for the conditions.
Good luck out there.